Okay, so October, it's November 2022. All right, for both questions, complete the table, find the equation. Vertex, state the answers in words. Okay, so the first question tells us we have, a certain amount of fencing available. You're like, yep, type 1, right? Sorry, type 2, sorry. For a large field, you want to make 2 padlocks, right? Important there. Kind of tells you what the layout is going to be. And splitting a rectangular enclosure in half, right? That's how you're going to make that happen. What are the dimensions of such largest enclosure? So if I go ahead and do that here, right, you should have pictured it like that. And notice that it's not being built against anything, so fencing is required for all sides, right? So the long side here, we call them length, right? And you have 3 stretches that we call width, right? Like the length of the width out here is needed 3 times, okay, to make this enclosure work. So then I conclude that 1200 feet has to be split up into 2L plus 3W. Okay. And here you decide, what do you want to isolate for? I'm going to isolate for length. Okay, so what happens here is, it's up to you how you want to do it, but if I keep 2L on the right side, the 3W comes over to the left side, subtracting. If you isolate it for width, don't worry, you're gonna be fine. Okay, let me just put that equal sign right there, and then the last step is to divide both sides by 2. Okay, so length is equal to 1200 minus 3 widths, or 3W over 2, right? So this would give you a mark if you have that there. I would give you a full mark for that. Okay. Can I just say something? They're invisible brackets wherever you go in life, right? You're gonna probably have to do some math, right? Entry exams, whatever. They test this kind of stuff. Always remember that they're technically brackets. Like if there's adding or subtracting happening in the numerator or denominator, do that first, right? Do that first before you do anything else. No. So you went 1200 divided by 2, which is, right, 600 minus 1/2 W. No, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. I tend to leave it like this because to me, I like to just work with it this way, but it's fine as long as you're consistent. Yeah. Yeah. So if you went 600 minus 1.5 W, that's fine. Yeah. 1 more. So then length, width, area. And because I isolated for length, that means that I need to come up with numbers here. And I chose 10, 20, 30 for my particular example. Okay. And so to spare me some, I don't have enough space here, so I'm just going to go 1200 minus 3 times 10, right? That's 1200 minus 30, all of that divided by 2, right? That's 585. And then it's 1200 minus 3 times 20 in this case, so it's minus 60 divided by 2, that is 570. And then it's 1200 minus 3 times 30, which is 90, divided by 2, right? Divided by 2, which is 555. And you should see, if you were consistent with this pattern, if you end up by 10, then you should also see a consistent pattern here. If you don't see that, you're making a mistake. Okay, so you should see that it's going down by 15. Do you see that in my case? So whatever you pick on as your independent, if this is your independent variable, whatever values you pick, I would go consistent. I wouldn't just grab random values, because you should observe a pattern on the other side as well. So then it's 585 times 10, 570 times 20, 555 times 30. Okay, you get a mark for this correctly filled in. So we're going to assume that you filled it in correctly. And how I know you did it correctly is if your equation matches mine. That's how I know you filled in the table correctly. So I'm going to go stat calc 5 here, and I'm going to give you both equations that are possible. If you're going length and area, like if that's what you did, like L1, L2, this is your equation. Negative 0.67x squared plus 400x. Okay, so sorry, I'm going to slide it over there. So if you made this your L1 and this your L2, then this is the equation. So that would be worth a full mark there. If you went width area, right, if you made L1 your width L1, right, then it looks like this. 1.5x squared plus 600x, right? So either one will work. Either one in this case, because I didn't specify, you could choose what you wanted to do, right? They both give you the same maximum area to be enclosed. So regardless, is 1 mark, okay? Now the vertex. What did I use? I think I probably used this one here. Yeah, I used this one for my equation. So the vertex, allow me to do the work here. I went second, trace, max to get that. And I got 300 and the resulting area 60,000. And this actually goes, you got to find your window, you got to find it on your, all of that is happening before you come to this point, right? So that's your, so what does that mean? This is my length and this is the area, right? This is the maximum area that it can fence in, and this would be the length required to make that happen, okay? And so I will go length is 300 feet. And the width, how do I find the width again? I take the area and I divide it by the length, right? Because we know that both of them multiplied gives you the area, right? So you get 200 feet there, okay? So those are the dimensions, and I'm just gonna state it here. Maximum area would be 60,000 square feet that can be fenced in with that amount of fencing. So I would give you, hold on, I would give you 1 mark for figuring out the vertex. Then I would give you another mark for having the dimensions there. Okay. So let me highlight the marks here. 1 there, 1 there, here, here, and here, right? So let me zoom out a bit. So you should have 5 marks there allocated, right? 1 for the equation, 1 for the table, 1, sorry, not equation. This is the isolating length, right? It's 5, yeah. We're going to make this worth 5. So we scratch the 4, and we make this worth 5 marks. This one is more, I believe that type 2 is worth more than any other ones because there's so much work preceding your table, right? Like if you think about, you need to interpret it, you need to set it up, isolate, right? So you should get at least an extra mark for this step, right? So the rest is 1, 1, 1. So that's 4 marks right there. Okay. Go ahead. I'm gonna mark the second one though. Okay. Here we go. The second one. We're talking about a canoe rental business, and the charge is $12 per canoe. So that's like the cost per item. And on average, you're selling 36, or you're renting 36 a day. For every 50-cent increase, right, you lose 2 rentals a day. Use this information to attempt to maximize your income. What should you charge? So I will go cost, rentals, and this is your profit or revenue, right? So if it costs $12, right? You have 36 rentals, so that'd be 12 times 36. That's a giveaway. And then what happens to the price? If you increase it by 50 cents, you lose 2 rentals, so that should be that. And then the next would be $13. You lose another 2, right? So this is $12.50 times 34. This is 13 times 32. That's how you get your profit. And so if you fill in this table, you get a mark. That's done. Everything is done correctly on there. You get a mark. If even one item is wrong, you lose that mark. But you still get the mark for the equation. I'm nice that way. So you'd lose that mark. And if I see an equation based on your table, I would still give you the mark. The only exception would be if your equation is linear. Like if you get a 0 for your A, you're not going to get the mark. That should be a red flag. Like I need to go back, right? Okay, so if you're typing this into L1, so if you go cost, profit, right? If that's how you're choosing to represent, if those are the points you're using, you should get this. Negative 4x squared plus 84x. Okay. If you chose to go rentals or items and profit, you should get this equation. Negative 0.25 x squared plus 21x. You get a mark for that one. So either one of these equations shows up, you get a mark. Be careful if I specify which one I want you to use. Like if I say, hey, find the one that relates cost and profit, I need to see this one, right? But in this case, either one is fine. So you get a mark for that. Keystrokes, remember? Don't forget your keystrokes. So if you forgot your keystrokes, you put a K there and circle it, like circle K. That's where everybody goes for a Slurpee, right? Every once in a while. In this case, you don't want to circle K, right? You want to avoid that. You want to go 7-Eleven or something like that. Equation, right? So there it is. Vertex, depending on your equation, of course. If you're going cost and profit, you get this. If you're going rentals and profit, you actually get 42,441. Notice that they both have the same profit, right? But the X value is going to be different. So either one of those, you get a mark. Second trace max should also be there. We will only take off half a mark once on this whole page, okay? We're not going to take off every time, just to make sure I want to see what you know, and so that's good. So it says, what should you charge if you use this equation here? There it is, right? You should charge, charge $10.50 per rental, right? To maximize. It's okay if you didn't write the whole thing. Maximize profit of $441 a day, right? That's it. This is optional as long as you tell me the 1050, right? That's what it's specifically asking. What should you charge? All right. Okay, so marks, table, equation, vertex, and then obviously telling me that the ultimate answer, right? So one mark for each of those elements. So 4. A lot of you started with it. Good call. Good call. I would do the same thing. Get that one done, and then worry about the type 2, which is not the most favorite. So this is out of 9. Total is out of 9. Okay. So at the top, scratch the 8 marks, right? Make that out of 9. Make sure you do that, and your name is on there. You can put today's date because I'm going to post a video if you want to look it up again.